the highest money skill in real estate, and the most powerful skill in real estate, and the most advanced skill of real estate is the ability to do what?
Lead someone to a decision.
Okay, now Jennifer's got this one down. How about the rest of you? Type it in the chat. What is the money skill of producers of building a championship business and an income for your family and for your kingdom? What is the number one money skill? And by the way, it's not limited to real estate. It is what? The ability to do what? Okay, everybody look up at me. Everybody in the room, look up at me. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to give me a fucking answer so I don't have to yell at you, okay? Because I got Jennifer. Okay, I'm like, what about the rest of the fuck of you? Are you playing or are you just here being spectators? So you guys out there, you already type into the chat. Okay, what is the number one money skill in real estate? Is the ability to do what? Okay, so some of you did not know the answer. So that's good feedback. So here is the answer. The ability to lead people to a decision. The ability to do what? Look up here, eyes up here, eyes up here. You can write it down in a second. The ability to do what? They can't fucking hear you. The mic's here. The ability to do what? Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So now you guys got the answer. Type it in the chat. Yes, good, good. I can't read their names. All right, good, Jeff, Julia, yep. Okay, no, come on, type it up. Type, what the fuck? I've only got about 8 of you typing it in. Type it up, come on, Emmy, Paula, write it, type it up. Lead people to a decision, that's it. There is no other money until you can lead people to a decision. Lead people to a decision to work with you, to choose you, to say yes to you. Now, what is it that is the first piece of this puzzle of leading people to a decision to say yes to you? What do they have to feel in order to say yes?
Certainty.
Julia says they need to feel certainty. And that's the answer. What will cause people to say yes to you is when they have certainty about you. Certainty about this idea of having a conversation with you. Certain about this idea of hiring you. To say yes to you, they must feel certainty. Where are they going to get that feeling of certainty? Trust. Where does it come from? It comes from you. The most powerful way that you get certainty from people towards you is when they see certainty in you about you. So when you walk into a room or you walk into a conversation and that you have that energy of certainty, that you know what's happening and you know what to do. And they can see in your eyes and they can see in your presence and in your conversation. They can see that you have commitment, that you have competence, that you have courage, that you have compassion. And they see that, you become irresistible. The biggest mistake real estate agents make is they think that the way you become irresistible is try to be irresistible, is try to talk people into why you're so great. And here's the problem with that. Nobody gives a fuck about you. Right, Evelina? Like, this is the ugly truth. Like, I know you work hard on your brand. I know you work hard on your, I need the font to be perfect. Fuck your font. Nobody gives a shit. They give a shit about you when you show up for them. But they don't give a shit about you when you show up for you. So when we get to this concept of strategic seduction, so now I'm going to train you in this framework. Page 19 is your page. Take notes. Here is the first problem. And what's the money skill again? It's the ability to do what? Okay. Can we put the phone down, please? Thank you. Griselda, can you put the phone up? If there's something you need to take care of, get out of my room. You got it? You good? Okay, cool. I care about you. That's why I'm calling you out. Okay. So what is the skill? The ability to do what? All right, the ability to lead people to a decision. Griselda, what is the skill?
Lead people to make a decision.
There you go. So lead people to a decision. This is the money skill that we got. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. The problem is that you don't understand the psychology of how people make decisions. Write it down. The problem is you don't understand how the psychology of how someone makes decisions. Now, you got to have certainty so you can give them certainty, but you've also got to understand their psychology of the thought process of how do they make a decision? Because how can I lead them to do something that if I don't understand how people do it? And again, as I mentioned earlier today, your ability to lead people to a decision is directly related. Write it down. Your ability to lead people to a decision is directly related to your ability and willingness to make fucking decisions. If you can't make a decision, it's impossible for you to lead others to a decision. Why? What happens when we have a decision to make and we can't make it? How do we feel? How do we feel? You got a big decision to make. You got to make a decision. You got to make a life and death decision tonight. How do you feel? Pressure. Stress. Anxiety. Uncertainty. Is that comfortable or uncomfortable? Uncomfortable. Motherfucker. The only way you lead people to a decision is understand that making decisions for a lot of people is uncomfortable. So for me to open up a space for them to make a decision, I've got to be willing to do something for them that I'm willing to do for me. And that is hold space to be in an uncomfortable place. Because ironically, people make decisions because of pressure. Almost every decision you made in your life is because of pressure. Darlisha made a mistake today. And she's like, oh shit. I made a big mistake. It just cost Kevin $150. What do I do? She's like, okay, I'm gonna make a decision. I'm gonna tell him. So she's like, so we break for lunch. She goes, I need you to come here. We go into my office, and she goes like, I just ordered the wrong shit on the food. I got there and it was wrong, so it cost an extra $150 to get the right stuff. I still don't understand what she was talking about. I'm like, it's $150. Do we get the food? Yeah, we get the food. I'm like, okay, don't worry about it. It's $150. I'll take it leftovers, give it to my neighbor. But something we're gonna have, it's all right. But she had to make a decision. Under that moment, why did she make a decision? Because there was pressure. Why don't you get up and go to the bathroom? Pressure. Pressure is why we make almost every decision. It's what makes us get up in the morning. It's what makes us go pee. It's what makes us want to have sex. It's pressure. It's pressure. It's why we eat and drink. It's pressure. So we make decisions because there is pressure. So the key is learning how to open up a space where people can feel pressure and you can hold space for them to be uncomfortable and make a decision. But this ability for you to get into this space yourself and go like, okay, I can make a decision. Now, the ability to get into that place of a decision and then make it immediately after you make the decision and you truly make a decision, what do you get? You get freedom. You get liberation because you get certainty. What is the word? Certainty. This is what makes the world go round, my friends. This is what makes people come to you. It's what makes people follow you is certainty. They follow you because of certainty. Nobody's listening to me this week because of my voice, except one that said he thought my voice was sexy. I appreciate that, Sergio. But that's not the reason people are here. But the reason that you're willing to go on a journey with me for 3 fucking days when I'm not taking you to the places you thought you were going to go is because you have certainty. And one thing you know, the moment you don't have certainty, guess who has absolute certainty? Who does? In this week, in these 3 days, when you don't have certainty, who do you know has certainty in this room? You know I have certainty. I have zero fucking doubt. I have absolute certainty. And my energy of certainty is what brought you here into this room, is what brought you into this game, to be willing to go on a journey and trust the process. They're like, this is not anything. There's not any one of you who are here that this is what you expected. Evelina, is this what you expected?
No.
No, how many of my events you been to?
Last 5 years.
Yeah,
2 per year, so 10 more.
10 or more events. Okay, Alex K, this is probably my number 1 alumni. Any idea how many events you've been to? Because I know you keep all the name tags.
Probably more than 15.
Yeah, more than 15 for sure. And if you add summits and the retreats and all that, you've been to a lot more than that. Is this what you expected when you got here?
You always up your game.
Yeah. But is it what you expected me to up my game? And you got that. Yeah.
Expected that.
Even with less voice. Okay? But even he didn't know what to expect. He's just like, okay, I don't know what he's going to do, but it's going to be good. So he trusts the process because he trusts me, because he knows he has certainty because of my certainty. Okay? Did you have any idea what to expect, Marcus? Like, no.
Idea, but
An idea, like, I don't know what's going to happen here. You're here because of certainty. Now, certainty is what takes people to a place of like, I'll trust you on a journey, and now you can lead people to a decision, but you got to have that. But you do it yourself to understand the process. Okay, Alex needs to say something. We'll still in the catch box.
You know, I've been to some of your events, like the 100-day challenge that you had before, or the Vortex, Physical Expireds. And I got to tell you that some of those classes or training events or conferences, whatever people want to call it, I have repeated those, and I have always walked away with new content. Mm-hmm. Exact same training, 3 days, just the location may have been different, but it's always been just, you always put your salt and pepper on it, man. And I think personally it's because you are growing, and that's the reason I have stayed and I have made that decision. I'm a Yes Masters for life because you are constantly growing yourself.
Yeah. Thank you, bro.
You know, some of the scripts may look the same, but I think by now we all know it's not the script, hopefully.
And guys, I literally built Yes Masters on scripts. That was how I first started. Because my scripts were the best in the world. They still are. There's nobody got scripts like I got. And those scripts you got there, they're like priceless. But all the guys, they're like this, man. They're like there's no sword that is sharper. Okay? In real estate. Okay, I'm not going to compete with the Bible, but in terms of scripts, there we go. But there's way more, as you guys are beginning to see. There's way more than just scripts. Scripts are what brought a lot of you here into this conversation. But what kept you here was you be like, okay, there's more. There's more, but there's certainty in this whole process of a decision. But I'm going to lay it down for you what really is really happening here, and what is the piece of this. Whoops. That this is the game that we are in. We're in a game of problems and possibility. This is the game. The game you play is a game of problem and possibility. Every single client. I said there's one moving part in the game of real estate. What is that one moving part?
motivated client.
Motivation. Motivated client. Without motivation, there is no client. Their motivation. What creates motivation? People have a problem that they don't like, or they have a possibility that they do like. So either they have pain, or some pain that they are in they don't want to be in, or there is some pleasure that they want that they are not experiencing right now. And this is the game. Every single client starts here. Every single client starts here looking there. I'm here, I want to be there. I rent an apartment, I want to own a house. I live here, I want to live there, I need to sell my house. I have a problem. I live here, I want to live there. What's the possibility? I can live there. You guys understand what I'm talking about? So there is a problem and there is possibility. This, my friends, is the game of real estate. So you have to understand that first is the game. There's a problem and there's a possibility. How do I get from here to here? Because here is the chasm, and this is the gap, and the gap requires a path. I got a buyer that wants to buy a house. I got a seller that wants to sell a house. What's the seller's problem? They want to sell their house so they can move. What's the possibility that they can move? What is the path? It's you. You're the path. The real estate agent. You're selling Vortex. That's the path. That is the path to solve their problem and give them the possibility to get out of the pain into the possibility.